Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment markets so you can better understand exactly what we see and what we are doing currently within our client managed accounts. We continue to see risk elevated and a chance of recession, I think, heightened based upon the weak economic outlook, not only for the U.S., but obviously across the board in Europe. The emerging market economies continue to do well, but they will be weakened based upon a lot of the problems that we're seeing in Europe. Greece continues to be in the forefront of all the news, and it's not, as I've said before, it's not if but when Greece is going to default. The problem that I ultimately see is these European economies or countries in general keep kicking the can down the road, just like the U.S. does. Now, Obama came out a few weeks ago with his magical plan of job creation, which to me is going to be a big waste of money. And at the end of the day, it's you, the consumer, that goes out and spends 70% of the United States GDP. If you're going to grow this economy, you got to grow GDP, you got to put money in the consumer hands, and you got to put people back to work. As I've said before, I believe we are in a long-term debt reduction for the consumer, which is already underway. So the consumer is reducing debt, which ultimately will be a positive, but this is going to take some time. The problem is the government hasn't figured this out yet, that they need to really reduce their debt. They talk about it a lot, but nothing's been done as the debt mounts, and we are well in excess of $15 trillion in the U.S. One day there will be a day of reckoning, and the government's going to have to do what's right. When that happens, I believe ultimately you'll have a turn in the U.S. economy for the long term better for everybody. And when you have the consumer deleveraging, which is already occurring, when you have the U.S. government finally realizes and really starts to deleverage their debt, you can then really grow GDP at the 3.5% range that we need to really grow meaningful jobs and get this economy going again. I think we're years away from that, to be honest with you. I see a choppy economy until that happens. We are watching things closely. I look at this as a secular down market where we see, ups, downs, and often 30-40% swings in either direction. Our market trend indicators continue to show us to be cautious. That's why we've raised some cash. And until those reverse, until we see some positive signs, we're going to continue to have a little bit more of a cautious stance within our managed accounts. And that's exactly what our clients hire us to do. Risk management is an important part of money management, and we want to make sure that we can do the best job we possibly can in order to be able to profit another day. We're looking at alternative asset categories, of course, but I believe today a little bit more cautious stance is warranted. We're going to see what Bernanke has to say at 2 o'clock today and really what their stance is going to be. A lot of people have talked about Operation Twist, which is basically the government buying long-dated, getting rid of short-dated debts that they own, and basically buying long-dated bonds or debt instruments. I don't think that's really going to have any real impact on the economy, but again, it's one of those signs that maybe the government's looking at what they need to do. I think ultimately what Bernanke said weeks ago is it's now in the hands of the U.S. government. The Fed's done what they can do, and the government really needs to get their fiscal house in order and do what's right for the U.S. economy. I hope this update was of interest to you and hopefully a little bit helpful. Make sure you do listen to the radio show this Sunday. And as always, we appreciate your referrals, your business, and if you have any questions about your portfolio, or you have a neighbor, a friend, or a family member who needs a professional money manager, keep us in mind, give us a call. We'd love to work with them. And as always, make sure you do call us if you have any questions about your portfolio. Make sure you have yourself an exceptional day and a very profitable week.